I hear everyone. Tuesday night, it's me again. Jesus, what are we going to talk about tonight? We're talking about Werner, and he wants to play a Premiership Liverpool in New York. People were actually saying that now they're not going to do that. That's like someone just saying that. Then it came out that he actually said it. It's absolutely ridiculous. To think that we as supporters will want one of our home games in New York City. Think about that for a second. One of our home games in New York City. What are we going to do? The mind boggles, really does. Some of these stupid, outrageous, stupid things. Absolutely. And I, Frank and Co, promoted your channel on X Twitter this morning, stating we subscribers probably discuss Fenway policies. I wonder if it's about, what Werner said. Yusuf channel's not popular, unfortunately, because of our views on how the clubs run. Most of our fan base, I can't say that Yusuf, up the behind, say that. And they think Michael Edwards is the Maradona of football, scouting it. Yeah, pathetic the way some of them are saying things, absolutely. I've got George in the wings there. This fella named George. The lost Shankly boy. Now the found Shankly boy. I think he's going to write a book called Lost and Found. Lost and Found. Can you imagine that? I'll get a job in the Lost and Found industry. Oh, he's lovely. I'm just going to go through some of these. I'll bring them right on. You're spot on, says Daryl. And CW, even if Frank and chat, how are we doing? We're doing all right. They're all talking to one another, I think. And greetings, he says, Yusuf and everyone on chat. Just proves how remote Fenway, our fan base, the mentality. Gary Richards, Sally Frank Lahr, want to set the bar high for Slot. He must win it his first goal. Absolutely. It's incredible what they've given this man, this hype. Evening, Frank. Hope you're okay, says Paul Turner. Is the great George Scott. And he's on now. Hi, George.
Evening, Frank. Hi, everybody in the chat. Nice to see you looking so well, Frank.
Thank you. Do you know what, George? Honestly, I slept on that side, right? I've been sleeping too good, so I said, I'll go on, kid. And I slept on that side. The side was out here. I couldn't get it down. It's terrible. Glued it down, though, by the way. I've glued it. How are you, George?
I'm good. I met a guy today from Australia. He came over from Australia to Anfield. I went up to Anfield with him, signed a book for him. And we met up with Stephen Doan, the curator of
yeah.
Because he's leaving, he's retiring. He's quite a successful author. And this lad is a chiropractor. And I happened to say to him, I've got stiff shoulders. And about 15 minutes later, he was giving me an exhibition on the high bars.
Oh,
get your hand up there, pull it up. I said, no, I'll just rest it.
Oh no, don't do that.
Don't do anything.
Well, I understand that because I went to give a talk yesterday morning, and with Anthony Brown, you know, who comes on my Monday
Yes,
show.
yes.
And his lovely wife drove us over there, you know. The Liner Hotel. Anyway, I had to walk down this bridge. And poor Anthony can't walk either. And just the two of us. Honestly, I said, Anthony, if we fall in a heap, I said, we'll be here forever because we can't get up. We couldn't get up, honestly, you know. So we got there, and it was very nice, you know, for
Like the
Anthony to.
last of the summer wine, Frank.
Honestly, should have seen the pair of us. So I understand about don't do that, George.
Yeah, I
Please
know.
don't do
No,
that.
I'll just do my own little exercises, working my way there, you know.
Was he a young fella, by the way, this Aussie? You know, was he a
No, he
young,
was in his early 60s.
early
He's,
60s?
yeah. But he came over and he wrote to me. He said, "I want to meet you up at Anfield, take a photograph with his Shankly statue." And you can't get into Anfield today because they got this
Yeah,
woman,
Taylor Swift, yeah.
Taylor Swift. The stage is all up and all looks all glitter balls, you know, and all sorts. So
Honestly, George,
he said it's unbelievable. You know,
yeah,
they've had Elton John there, they've had the Eagles, they've had the
yeah.
Rolling Stones. He said,
Paul
but nothing
McCartney.
compares to this.
I was there when Paul McCartney, I was
Yes, Paul
actually there,
McCartney.
you know, in the audience. And, but when this Taylor Swift, someone months ago, I'd never heard of it.
No, I
Months
couldn't tell
ago,
you a song she's written, but the girls love her. The young
yeah,
teenagers love her. And there'll be
I
thousands there.
never,
3 days she's on for. 3 days, 3 nights.
never had a clue who she was. And anyway, someone wrote to me and said, Frank, you know, sent me a message. Frank, can you get any Taylor Swift tickets?
£800 a ticket.
And I went like that. I said, who is he? Never heard of him. And he said, no, it's a girl singer. I said, no. I said, I won't be able. I said, I haven't a clue. Anyway, but that's genuine. Who is he? I said, I've got, there's JK and there's Daryl. Hiya, Daryl. Hiya, JK.
Oh, hi, JK.
Hi there, but guys.
George.
Hope you're okay.
Hi, Daryl. Nice to see you. Oh, hi, Daryl.
How you doing, George?
All right, Daryl.
Oh, JK, how you doing, mate?
How are
I
you
can't
doing,
see
man?
JK. I can't see JK, but I can hear him.
The
That's another
invisible
thing.
man. The invisible man, as they say. But anyway, let's just go through some of the boys here. Not heard any updates on Alan Hansen since the weekend. This is what I was going to ask George. Have you heard anything about Alan?
No, they're keeping it very close to the chest. I don't know what's wrong with Alan. I
I
don't know
don't-
whether he's had a sudden brain hemorrhage, a heart attack, or some other. It's
Yeah.
very quiet. Nobody seems. Even Stephen Dunn didn't say nothing today. He didn't tell me. So
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It definitely must be something sudden because I don't
Shame.
think he's been ill for a long time. I don't know, but I don't think he's been quiet for a long time. Not had much about him for a
Shame.
while. But
Shame.
fingers crossed he pulls through, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is. To be
I'm
honest,
sure
when I first heard, I thought he might have been like in a car accident or something. And then people were saying that he's, you know, especially when he was saying he was seriously ill and in intensive care. And that usually confirms that it's like a car accident or something.
Well, you see, I was in intensive care for 5 weeks a couple of years ago with double bacterial pneumonia. That was I was death's door. I was told I wasn't going to make it. So, you know, you can be in intensive care for all sorts of reasons, but I don't know why they're not releasing it. Maybe the family doesn't want to say nothing at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I was in intensive care anyway, you know, and I forget, someone came in, a nurse who knew the family and knew me, you know, because she told them, Frank's in hospital. And, you know, she was one of the girls who, you know, like with a trolley served tea and everything else and whatever. She's a lovely girl.
Yeah.
She used to feed me loads of tea. Anytime you want a cup, just ask, you know. And she told them that it was in intensive care. And it's, you know, it is, and it sounds more like bad, doesn't it, really?
Yeah,
you know, once you hear that someone, especially a known person like yourself and Alan Hansen, you know.
It's no good speculating because it could be anything, couldn't it? It could be sepsis.
Yeah, it could be. I don't like surmising, you see.
No.
Yeah, but we just go and say hello to all our
Thoughts
people on here.
Yeah, I thought so with Alan Hansen for sure.
with Alan Hansen from all
Yeah.
Liverpool fans throughout the world.
Throughout the world, and you're so right. So right. Our Romanian friend there, Ali Nus, good evening. He says, good evening, Ali.
Evening, Ali.
Evening, George. Hope you're well. Hope you're okay.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
And Yusuf says, can't imagine Frank's answer to Taylor Swift. Can't imagine Michelle's answer to anything. And Chris says, lads, you and I are the footy, but recommend the history shows from Frank and Anthony on Monday. You will learn, even if you are scouts. Well, that's it's quite good. Well, that's
I watch it sometimes, Frank. I find it interesting. I look at it sometimes.
Yeah, it's
Anthony's lovely, isn't he?
Yeah. Hey George, I'm sorry there. I'm not leaving you out, Dad. I'm not leaving you out, JK. I'm going to ask George. Robbo, is he okay? Because he seems to have got injured or something. For Scotland.
I hope not, because we're playing Germany on Friday. So, I mean, I don't think I'll be the last thing we want really in Scottish team because he's captain. I mean, and he's one of our key players. I haven't heard that, Frank.
No, it was like today, yesterday it was. And then all of a sudden, I was watching someone this morning say, I think he's all right. I think he is, but that's what they were saying. And again, it's supposition when you turn around and say, I think he's all right, if you know what I mean.
You don't want to be injured in training, do you? You know what I mean?
No, that's I don't like friendlies,
Yeah.
I do not like friendlies. And I don't see the point. Why don't they just play?
Yeah.
I'm not being funny with, different nations or whatever. You shouldn't play the likes of Germany and France and all these teams. You shouldn't play them. You should play other teams that are not. Do you understand? I don't know. I don't know. But lesser teams. So it's only a runabout. It's only to keep yourself fit. That's all.
Well, England played Iceland. They got beat 1-0. That didn't do them any favours, did it? Psychologically,
no.
Before they go off to the European to be losing to Iceland.
That's you couldn't even say play the likes of Iceland, could you?
Well, polar bears there.
Oh, please. And I'll just go on and say hello to these people. Even in JK and Daryl, hope you're okay, says Paul.
All right, Paul. Oh. Good to see you.
TW, evening, George, JK and Daryl.
Evening, TW, 74, bro.
Evening, TW.
And Chris says, hit the likes, lads. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. And Ian Daryl says,
I know, man.
Everyone knows.
Hi, Norman.
Hi, Norman.
Paul Turner says, one of the best centre-backs the club has ever had in our history, and he's in my all-time 11 best ever Liverpool side. Paul Turner.
Yeah.
Well, when I was on LFC TV, he asked me to pick, the best ever 11 at the time. And he was the best centre-back, I paired him alongside Mark Lawrenson because that defence was absolutely amazing at the time, John Rooney, Robbo trains okay today.
Nice one, John. That's good.
Yeah. And Chris says Robbo became the most capped from Scotland. Did you know that, George?
Didn't know that. Oh, I thought somebody like Dennis Law might have been.
Yeah.
Some of them guys. I didn't think Robert would be most capped for Scotland. That's great.
Do you know who's a relation to us in the family, George?
Who?
Lou Macari.
Oh, yeah, I remember Lou Macari very well. Yeah, Celtic. Shankly almost signed him, didn't he?
Yeah. And I would have loved him here. my auntie Leah said, the Macquarie's, relation to.
Well, he turned down Liverpool. He turned down Liverpool, and Shankly said to the press, "I only wanted him for the reserves." He went to Man United. That's why.
Typical Shankly, I only wanted him for the reserves. But that's what she said, and she said he's a footballer, and he plays for Manchester United.
He did, yeah. It's good.
So you don't mention him now because he never played for us anyway.
No, he turned us down.
TW. Anybody seen Sloot on the travels? That's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Sloot.
Somebody said he's bought a wig so he can go in disguise and nobody knows it's him.
He sat right next to me. He sat next to me on his chair.
It's incredible. I was, do you know what I was looking at? And when I was reading it, I couldn't believe what I was listening to. And I want all your opinions on this. When Werner came out and said he'd like Liverpool to play, and I see your face there, George, wants to play a Premiership. That'll be our home game, by the way, in New York City. What's your take on that, George?
Well, that just shows you how little these people know about football at grassroots level. They have no idea, not just FSG, but all these big-time jollies. I mean, the Premier League is the Premier League in the world. It's an English league. The games are played in England for English fans and for foreign fans who support the clubs. They're on television all over the world, so nobody misses them. You can go to Zimbabwe, you can go to anywhere, go to Burma. The games are on television. Why would you want to upheave? There's only one reason why you would upheave everything from here and go and play in New York or Dubai. Money. That's the only thing. And this nonsense about, we'll subsidize the travel. We'll give you cheap hotels. We'll help the fans to get there. It's a load of rubbish. And I'm glad that John Henry's said he's not interested, if that's true, because where he's come from with that, I don't know, Frank. I don't like it. I don't support it. And I just think it's crazy.
Well, I'm amazed up you said that because, you're well respected on the, on the panel. You're really well respected. And people think what comes out of you is honesty, integrity, and dignity. That's what they told me on personal messages, And I'm just absolutely delighted, because you never know whether when you're asked questions, what you think.
Yeah.
You don't expect some of the answers, which is pathetic,
What would be the benefits of going to New York to play football and Liverpool playing against West Ham and Notts Forest in New York? Yeah. I mean, okay, the Yanks would go along and watch it, but they're not into football, really. Football's it's a world game, the biggest and greatest sport in the world. Not American football, not baseball. None of them sports are world sports. They're American sports. And I just don't agree with it.
I'm sorry, go on and finish, George.
No, I don't agree with it, Frank, because, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. I like history. I like tradition. I know things have to move forward, and they have moved forward tremendously in football. Since my day, it's like a different planet. But they're moving on a bit too quick. We've got this situation now with Man City suing the Premier League, suing the Premier League, because they're getting discriminated against when they're up on 115 charges. Again, it's money, it's nation states, their own clubs, and trying to make the little man suffer and the big man bigger.
Do you know what? Thanks for stealing me tons of George.
Sorry, Frank. Get carried away.
What a shrimp. JK, what do you think of the New York comment?
For me, that was like, I don't really like the way football's going anyway, in general, over the last 15, 20 years. Everything's like, I'm surprised they're charging people to use the bathrooms at the stadiums, We're at that point now. So for me, taking games abroad that are English Premier League, not for me. Do the FA Cup final or something like that, or the League Cup final, Do something like that, but the Premier League, not for me. Even the Champions League stays in Europe.
Well, as George says, it's English and it stays in England. Simple as that.
Yeah.
But the way things are changing,
Yeah.
you know, going over to the likes of Saudi Arabia. Anyway, that's another thing.
They tried to get the Super League up and running, and the fans stopped that, didn't they? The fans stopped that from happening. Otherwise, that would have went ahead.
But I said then, at the time, I said, don't be surprised that will come back bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it will. That's going to hit us in the face again. Darryl, what's your take on New York? While I fix me bloody light. Go on.
I just think they're doing everything they can to belittle our club at the moment. It's just getting ridiculous. Can you see 60,000 people going over to Boston and paying season tickets? Because I certainly couldn't. It's just nonsense after nonsense with our owners at the moment. It's just pathetic. And then I don't know what's going on. David Lynch seemed to have dropped a bombshell as well yesterday, which weren't very nice, saying that we're going to have a quiet window. So
yeah.
But, yeah, you know, again, we come back to the DM because, you know, there are people saying we don't need a DM. We don't. We do. We do need a DM.
You got a great one at Atlanta. A great guy at Atlanta, Edison.
Yeah.
He might cost 60 million, but that's the sort of player we want to go and get.
Of course. But then you get fans saying that we don't need it. Now, don't forget that the likes of John Henry and Werner, you know, the owners do look at pods, and they'd be made up with, you know, people saying, we don't need it here. Arnie Slot doesn't need one. You know, he's not going to get one. They're made up with that because they know that they're not going to spend any money. But that's the way it is. I'll just go through these. I'm sorry. Everett Long's brother. Evening, boys. Just out of interest, will you be watching the Euros? Are you ready for the BBC overhype on England? No, I won't be watching England. I don't watch them. I don't support them. It's like I don't support Wolverhampton Wanderers or Scunthorpe United. I don't support them. So I don't watch them. And it's like England. Someone said to me once, Steven Gerrard was captain, and he went, you don't watch England? And Steven, I said, no, I don't. You know, I just don't watch it. I watch the Azzurro. I watch Italy. That's who I watch, supported them from a little boy. I'm not going to change, my mind or anything. I do support Italy. That's who I'll be watching.
Well, looking at the hype and that comment, do you remember when Rooney and Gerrard and Lampard and Gascoigne all played, and they called it the golden generation, and they won nothing?
Yeah.
You know, so the hype comes up before the tournament, and we're getting the same thing again. England are favourites to win. Why don't they just let the games go along and just report on them, not build up these sort of hopes for English fans? I'm not an English fan, but millions of people are, obviously. And, there will be big interest in the Euros from around the country.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so I think the BBC have got that habit of, you know, we're the greatest things in the world and we're going to walk across the European stage. No, it's going to be tough. If they can't beat Iceland, they'll have to raise the game to beat Germany, Italy and France.
Well, the point is as well that you've got Trent now as a number 8, so we won't be playing right back.
Midfield,
so we'll be in midfield. And someone put up and said, Rice, Bellingham and Trent will be this looks the greatest midfield in the whole of the world. I just, there's the hype starting. That's the hype starting. Norman. A brilliant panel. Thanks for meeting me, George. Fantastic at what they are.
Lovely guy, Norman. We had a lovely hour or two together, up at the Stell Anfield.
He is. He's a smashing lad. He really is. He really is a smashing lad, is Norman. And he brought me a cake. I'm still bloody eating it. He says, you can put butter on as well, you know. I said, oh, okay, then. I've been putting butter. Lovely. His wife made this lovely cake. Slots in a beater on holiday with his family, TW, topping up his tan. Nah, says he, Mac. Ahoy, Frank says, Monty Connor, all the way from Atlanta, not Atalanta, Atlanta.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Georgia, yeah, exactly. He's a nice fella, actually, Monty. He's in a band. Norman. Lou Macari has done a lot for the homeless people in Stoke. Incredible what he has done for, done fair play. I don't know. I don't know what
he lives in Stoke, or he did live in Stoke, so he played for Stoke. That's
that's
good. That's good.
That is, because he's a member of our family now. Seeing that he's all right to the homeless. We love him now.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Yusuf, didn't anyone say that the city of Liverpool? Yes.
I can't remember that.
He did. Yeah, he did. It was leaked and he tried to deny it. And, how can you, a private email, how can you deny a private email when he, came out and said someone must have
He'll
done
never admit to that.
No, never, ever. Yeah, you're right, Yusuf. So I pay £100 for a season ticket now that it's all for home league games. So what about this game in America? Do I pay for that also, even if I can't go? Winning it is a disgrace.
Yeah, you're right, Norman.
Phil Jones says, anyone know why 70 of the Liverpool FC office staff were let go yesterday?
Didn't know that.
Didn't know that myself. Any idea, JK, Darryl?
No, not clear.
No, I know nothing about that.
I know Manchester United have ditched loads and loads of their staff, but I didn't know we'd done anything like that.
Why? Well,
depends on what department and for what reasons, Save money, of course, being the main thing.
Yeah, I need to see the details on that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's a myth as well. Do you see, like, what Norman said about, how will it affect me? Do I have to travel over, to New York? And Ian Max says, you get a discount on EasyJet flight, Norman. Remember it? Like when we went away, it was so much, like a week before, then all of a sudden, when Liverpool were playing away, they knew the amount of people that would go to watch the games, in Europe, I'm talking about, and the prices were trebled, quadrupled, absolutely ridiculous. So they know when a good thing is about to happen, especially Liverpool in Europe, where they just put up the prices, which are absolutely crazy. Anyway, okay, Matt. Big up, everyone. Hope you're all well.
Thank you, Matt.
I hope you're all right as well. Everyone with you. I really do. And the Red Bird. Breaking news. Arne Slot has been seen in Romania having a hair transplant.
Yeah, I've seen a few memos today.
You could get us here. I've seen the advertisements if you want a hair transplant.
Hey, Red Bird, there's nothing wrong with being bald.
No, not wrong. I'm losing mine,
On and off the pitch.
Let's all guess where he is.
We're a bit older, aren't we?
It's a sign of ability.
He's in Kenya.
We should be called the big blonde panel, the way we're all grey and everything else. Oh, that's lovely. CW, maybe it was Jürgen's staff leaving. I heard Eds was clearing out. TW. Never thought of that.
They just appointed a new person today, haven't they? Just appointed a new, I don't know what the title is. It's a mid-performance analyst or something. Just brought him in today. Yeah.
Mid-season performance. That's what the fuck?
Media performance analysis or something like that.
Media.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said mid. I thought
above my pay grade. I didn't understand it, but it was announced this afternoon.
Maybe. How can you put it?
Something to do with the treatment and the injuries and all that.
You know, the likes of the coach putting his foot in the mouth. So, you know, they tell him, look, you put your foot in your mouth there. I don't know. It's pathetic, some of the titles that these people have. Instead of just, I don't know. It pisses me off.
Too many in the mix.
And there's Dorothy. What? George, a sign of what?
What's that?
Don't
I don't understand that one, Dorothy.
I wonder if she's.
Oh, yeah. I said, being bald's a sign of virility.
Oh.
She said, what? A sign of what?
Exactly. I think you what?
Means you've got a lot of testosterone.
Thanks, George.
No, I'm only joking. I don't think so.
Could you pass the ingredient through there to me? Blimey. Anyway, Neves can pass, tackle. He is aggressive, good finish on the right foot. Really rate him. That's Neves. Yeah. What do you think of that, Darryl? Neves, if we get him?
It's going to cost 100 million. It's never going to happen. Liverpool spending that much money on a player.
Yeah. I'm just saying, what you think of him? That's all.
To be honest, Frank, I don't really watch much of Benfica. Never really.
Oh, I see.
So, wouldn't know.
Yeah.
What about you, JK?
Yeah, I've seen bits and bobs of him. He looks a bit of a tenacious sort of player, you know. That's like standard prices now. Look at Grealish, cost 100 million. He's sitting on the bench. So we're going that way. That's what I was on about. Like football in the last 20 years is going the wrong way. He's a good player. Even Grealish, before he went to Man City, was a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he's sitting on the bench. So that's what we're looking at now. Like, just sort of the norm is going to be a standard player, 100 million. So, yeah. But for me, good top player. He gets stuck in.
Yeah. And what's your take on it, George? You know,
Neves, good player, like Norman says, yeah. Aggressive, good right foot, attacking, scores goals. Yeah. I mean, as Darryl says, 100 million would probably cost to buy him. And I can't see us spending 100 million unless we sell a lot of players.
No, they want that Bruno fella, don't they, from Newcastle, and he's going to cost.
Well, he's a good player.
Yeah, but you know, this is the prices now, and if we do buy someone, but then again, I don't know. It's whether the lads over there in Boston will pay out this money instead of selling. I'm going to ask you a question in a minute. Okay, I'm just going to go through these. Just please. And I'm going to start with you, George. K-Max says, Big Kev and Adrian looks like they are leaving. Never thought the goalkeeper and goalkeeper department would need replacing this summer. And this is the way it is.
Alisson is Jurgen Klopp's man, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a big Jurgen Klopp man, Alisson. And has he got a year left in his contract? I'm not sure. Alisson, the goalkeeper. Yeah. I think he's at risk.
Of course he's at risk.
I think he's at risk.
If anything goes wrong this season,
I had a few rumours to that extent.
Yeah. And, it's
come today. One or two people were mentioning that.
Yeah. It's going to be, really bad for Liverpool. If Kelleher goes, we'd have to buy, two keepers. But, Kelleher, let's put it this way. I think he will go. And I tell you what's bothering me, and this is it. I'll start with you, George. Trent. Do you think that he could leave?
Personally, I don't think so. I don't think Trent will leave. He's a Scouse. I've been here a long time, and take a lot to shift him, I think. I'm not saying he won't. You can never tell, but my heart tells me that I don't think he'll leave. Not right away, anyway. He's got Champions League to look forward to. I think a few of these lads are going to sort of put their toe in the water and see how things develop in the first half of the season. I mean, as I say, with the goalkeeper, he'd fetch a big fee. He'd fetch a lot of money if he decided to go. Depends how long his contract is. I mean, and we've got Carlyle in reserve. It'd be a shame if that happened, if Alisson decided to move, because that's never been thought about. But I've just heard a few people saying that might be something that might come up in this season, but I hope not.
Okay. What about you, Darryl?
With Trent, I'm kind of 50-50 with Trent. I think maybe his head has been turned by Real Madrid. Maybe he's talking with Jude Bellingham. I don't know, because tell him how great he's had in the season, what he's won. His head could easily be turned. I'm not sure. I'm kind of up in the air with Trent, whether he stays or goes in the summer. With Kelleher, yeah, I think he goes 30 million Wolves, definitely. Alisson, I think he'll stay. Personally, I think he'll stay until next season at least. He'll have another season. Diaz looks like he's staying, but looks of it.
Okay.
Today, Martin said he's staying, Diaz, so that's good.
Okay. What about you, JK and Trent?
I don't know. He's at that point in his career where he has to make probably one of the biggest decisions of his life. Does he sign a new contract, or does he go wherever he wants to go, whoever wants to pay the money for him? Thing is, next season he can go. No, he's got 1 year left after this season coming up, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's the sort of dodgy situation right there. But for me, he's sort of set. He could be the next Liverpool captain after Virgil. So he has to think. Okay, do I sacrifice that or to go to Real Madrid? At Real Madrid, he's going to win Champions Leagues, no doubt. He's going to be playing with top class players. He's got Mbappe there now as well with Bellingham. So quality-wise, they're a bit more advanced than us guys. But you only get that chance to be Liverpool captain every day of the week, It comes once in a lifetime, especially for people who are born in Liverpool. Gerrard, Henderson weren't born in Liverpool. Virgil wasn't, So Trent's the next sort of guy to do that. Him and Jones, Jones should be up there as well, but he hasn't done that in his career yet to get to that level where he could be possible captain. So for me, next season is a big season for Jones as well, Trent, I just hope Trent sort of gets his football brains back on. I think the last 2 seasons or so, not being at his best. Like, we all know that he's a quality player, but sometimes I think his mind's elsewhere. And that's what happens because he's been involved in football for years, since he was a young lad. So all he knows is football. And you've got to expect for him to have a few years where he's not at the races. So I'm thinking that Trent's in that sort of phase of his life where, yeah, he loves football, no doubt. But sometimes I think football's took a back seat, So hopefully next season, we'll probably see the old Trent again, hopefully.
Yeah.
But what about, you're saying that he's a scout. Say we go back, and you said quite rightly, he's a scouser and he'd be proud to captain the team. It doesn't come around. When we go back to the 60s and 70s, especially the 70s, we had Tommy Smith, scouser.
Yeah.
He was captain. Phil Thompson was a captain. These are all scousers. And they were great. And they did feel pride, They did feel pride by captain. Chris Lawler. All captain Liverpool. And then you come forward to Steven Gerrard, of course. Steven Gerrard, what a better captain.
Yeah.
I've just been watching him against just been watching them, the old Real Madrid game, the 4-0 game.
Yeah.
And he could have had 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah.
He just missed out. And that Casillas was absolutely stunning. Some of the saves he made was incredible, even from Torres, some of the saves. And, you know, you get the likes of Steven Gerrard and Trent. Now, Trent, he's just lost his mentor. That's what worrying me.
Yeah.
Because I seen that lad, I seen his face. He looked devastated.
Devastated, yeah.
He was devastated. And then you see him with his mate, Bellingham, apparently, now with these friendlies, and then he'd be joining them in the Euros.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying, George?
You're right. That's where the chat starts between the players and have a word here, have a word there. You'd be great coming here. We've got Mbappe, you know, we're going to win the European Cup again. Yeah, you have to be tough and hold out, hopefully.
Steve Evans, not bothered one bit about the Euros personally. Not a fan of the transfer committee nonsense either.
Yeah.
No, this is our transfer committee.
Yeah.
And I don't like the transfer committee. Never have done, never will do. And they're a problem with us sometimes, as you know. The Anfield Road, rumours circling a swap for Trent with Rodrigo might be being considered. Also, Trent very close with Jude. I'd like to know panel's thoughts on such a transfer. Now, I've never seen that. And how we feel about it. All right, just in one word, how do you feel about these? And they're not just rumours, you know. And as I said, George, at the very end of my comment, you've got them, and they'll be at the Euros, not only at the Euros, but he'll be with his mate, and they are very good friends.
Yeah.
You know, with Bellingham, and that really frightened. My one word is I'm frightened.
Yeah, I'm frightened as well, really, for that reason. I mean, I don't want him to go anywhere. I wouldn't swap him for Rodrigo either. I mean, he's an integral part of Liverpool Football Club, and we need him to stay, and it's up to the club to make sure he stays. Because really, if his contract's not up, he can't go without the club's permission.
No. What about you, Darryl?
I don't know way do I Rodrigo. Not a chance. That's not even shouldn't even be a discussion about that kind of transfer. Rodrigo's not even a goal scorer for a start. So no way. I'd rather have Trent. 100%.
Well, the thing is, you know, you're getting other people saying, "Oh, I wouldn't mind that. He's good, you know, that Rodrigo." JK.
Like, when I heard that yesterday, I was like, what's going on here? Rodrigo to come in to maybe replace Salah in a year or two, you know, yeah, why not? But we keep Trent. For me, Trent is a footballer that's sort of misunderstood. On his day, technically probably one of the best in the world. Like, when you see his passing, and it's just like trying to get like 100 men to just pass the ball. Some of them can't even pass straight. This guy is pinging balls 30, 40 yards, just like having a cup of tea. So that's the level he's at. I just want him to have what Gerrard had, that little bit of fire in his game, for him to advance to that level where we all know he should be. That's the only thing with Trent, I feel. Yeah. But I'm definitely going to let him go to Real Madrid if I had the choice. No way.
He should be on the same money. He should be on the same money as Salah. Offer him a 5-year deal, give him the same money as Mo Salah. Make him the highest paid player at the club. Why not? Do it.
Yeah.
I agree. We can afford it, by the way. We can afford it. Yeah. We can afford a good wage for them. And up Diaz's money as well. Up his money. Anyway, yeah, there's something here, though, and it's a cracking comment. And it's from the Redbird. Money can override loyalty with today's players, not like our George's day when he played for the love of the game and about £7 a week. And, so you've got to go back to your day, George. I'm not talking about wages or anything.
No.
You played for the love of the game.
Well, I was just talking about that. I was talking about to Peter Kenny-Jones in the interview the other day. I mean, when we played, you're right, we played for the love of the game. We didn't have, even Shankly managed for the love of the game. But Paisley, none of them did it for money. Joe Fagan, none of them did it for money. There was no money, relatively speaking. Yes, we were paid more than the average working man, but considering it was a short career, which finished by the time you were 30, and you got 60 years of life, 50 years of life to try and fill with no education, and you got to get a job. And Gordon Wallace was saying the other day that, the shock of going from training from 9:30 till 12:30 and swanning around in the afternoon and going down a nightclub at night maybe, or, and then getting up at 6 in the morning, getting to the garage at 7, opening the door and working all day in the garage. It was a culture shock, and lots of footballers had that culture shock. Now, Trent and his like, they could retire tomorrow and never work again. And that's what annoys me when they go away to Saudi Arabia and all these hunting more money when they've got millions in the bank already.
I couldn't understand Fabinho, Henderson, any of them going over there to Saudi because, as you said, they've got millions. The multi-millionaires, these lads.
Yeah.
And, to go over there for more money. Look, it's like Mbappe. Now, Mbappe's a millionaire. I don't know whether I said it on my show or what. I just don't know what I was talking. I told her I was talking privately to someone. And what had happened, they were playing Liverpool, PSG that is. They were playing Liverpool. And anyway, the other fella scored, Neymar, he scored. And as they ran, him and Mbappe, they ran towards like the corner flag because he gave the assist, and they were like that. That's money. So whatever they did, must have been a bonus. A pair of them were doing it, looking at each other like that, smiling, smirking. And that's greed. Now there's Mbappe, he's going to Real, another Real.
Yeah.
And he's going to get 150 million signing on for his already.
You never spend it. You can't spend 150 million.
No. But that's another thing. And it's only what Redbird said about, money can override loyalty. And it can override loyalty. And then if he's only young, he's only a young lad.
Yeah.
He's not fully matured like us, if you know what I mean. Point is, he could be looking at playing for, and Ancelotti loves him, and it's not just now. He has always said he's a great, great player, and he'd like him at Real Madrid. That's what he said a couple of seasons ago. And to play alongside Mbappe. So, and play alongside his mate.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt Real Madrid would want Trent. I mean, any club in the world would want Trent. And they've probably one of the few clubs got the pulling power and the money to sign him. We want him here.
That's it. They have got the pulling power. It's just the name Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Real Madrid. And that's what I'm frightened of, I'm being honest. Because, and I don't care what anyone says, our owners would sell him. No matter what the fans think. They just sell him, if you know what I mean. But they'd give it a spin. They'd say, his head was turned, we wanted to go. And that's what the usual spin is. And that's the unfortunate thing. I bet you if they put in a bid, he'd be sold in a flash.
Now, what's the value? What's Trent's value now? It's got to be 150 million?
No, not now. It's only got over a year on his contract. I reckon it's about 80 million.
I was thinking more as a player. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, in terms of the actual contract length.
Yeah.
Well, all right, let's see what the lads are saying. Herbert Lamb's brother, we have got the Czech goalie who is playing Euros. Yaros, maybe he is next in line. Maybe he is, I don't know. Norman, if Real Madrid signed Trent this summer, something is really wrong with corruption in Madrid, of which I think, anyway, they have just given Mbappe 150 million.
It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy, isn't it?
And Brian, he comes out and says, good evening, lads, hope you're all well. I think Trent will go, but not this year, boys. We are just, boys are, not this year. Are we just for are we talking about the top 4 spot again? Are we all happy with this? Very worried for the season, but we have to back on. Of course, we back the team, we can't get away. And don't forget, the club is bigger than anyone. It's bigger than Klopp. We've said that before before we knew that he was leaving. Yeah. No one's bigger than the club. Nobody. And the great Bill Shankly, as you know, said that. Nobody is bigger than the Liverpool Football Club.
Right.
And Chris Tick says, JK, Trent made the public this means more statement. Would it be about turn to then walk away from being a future Liverpool captain?
Exactly what I was saying, that how can you walk away from that? If you support Liverpool as a kid, your dream is to be captain of Liverpool. So for me, he has to stick to them words. Yeah. And you got to understand as well, the media just love to put salt and pepper on everything. So they're going to come out, he was with this guy, he was doing this and that. No.
And he carries on by saying, this is Brian, if Alisson left, would you think it will be a good move for the Villa keeper, Martinez? Ask the lads, Frank, what they think of Martinez. I'll start with you, JK.
He's a good goalkeeper, you know what I mean? He won the World Cup with Argentina. I just don't like his sort of personality on the pitch. Like when you look at Alisson, he's a proper gentleman, but he's a bit of likes to joke around, clown around a little bit, gets a bit cheeky, and other people say it's cool if he's on your team, you know what I mean? But I don't know, not for me.
Do you know who I like? George and Darryl and JK. What's your take on it, George? I like Pope. Pope.
Yeah.
I think he's a great goalie, yeah. I really think he's...
Safe pair of hands, isn't he? Safe pair of hands. Yeah. I agree with JK about the Villa goalkeeper. Yeah, he's a brilliant goalkeeper. He makes fantastic saves, but he's unpredictable. He's a bit of a wild card. He's shown that a number of times, farting about in the World Cup when he won that, in front of all the crowd. I just think he's not really somebody I would particularly welcome to Anfield. I just hope Alisson stays. He's the best goalkeeper in the world, really. We can't afford to lose him. Not for a year or two, anyway.
Minimum 2 years for me.
Yeah.
2-3 years, no problem.
Yes, as long as he's here, yeah. It'll all depend how we do this year, with the new guy.
Well, this is it. This is the top and bottom of it. It's what we do next season. And everything this time next year could be topsy-turvy. Topsy-turvy. But as I think it was Brian who said, would top 4 do you? Would you be able... Last season we said it, because of the changes, the lads going, the whole of the midfield going, and these new lads coming in. We said, I did at the time, I just hope we get top 4, get back in the Champions League with all these new signings, and see how they gel for the season after, which is this coming season. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Next season, do I want top 4? See, we just go back to the same old, and what it is, it's this. If Jürgen was still with us, we'd be saying now we need 2 players That's all. Because he's got the squad. 2 players. And what we'd be saying is we need a DM. That's top priority. And the other priority is a left-sided centre-back. That's what we'd be saying. They're the only players we need. They're the only players. But now we're going to go into a transitional period again. And that's what I don't want. Another transition, because we went in it last season. We don't know this new system that he's going to play. People are assuming everything. This is how he plays. This is this and this, that. And it's different, no matter how you look at it. Because when a new manager comes in, players want to do well for him at the beginning. And that's when, you find out the character of the person, if you know what I mean. That's when you find out, and you could have little fallouts. You just don't know with it. You don't know. Look at Steven Gerrard when he went down to Aston Villa. They were brilliant. Then all of a sudden, they didn't seem to want to play for Steven.
Yeah.
They didn't want to seem to play for him at all. So, there's things like that. Look at Pochettino. I think the same there. He's got a bunch of lads there, most of them are world class, and yet they never played for him. They never played. That's just my opinion. And that's the way it is with some players. They don't want to play. And if they don't like you, and your methods and whatever, then, I'm the boss sort of thing.
It's all about results, isn't it, Frank? It's all about results. If they get the results, everybody's happy. Press are happy, fans are happy, players are happy. Once you dip a few games on these circumstances with a new manager, new coach, new staff, then you start getting the criticism biting in. So it's up to Slot now. He's got a hell of a job. This first 2 months of the season, it's going to be a roller coaster. We have to win games.
I've got a cracker coming off, George. But just let me go through these. Can't see Rodrigo coming to Liverpool, says TW. And he carries on by saying, and anyway, the Yanks won't pay his wages. And that's true, you've got to look at these wages. No, and the point is we don't need Rodrigo. We need a DM and centre half. We look to what we need to go from third to first, a DM.
Simple as.
It is, isn't it? And the Anfield Row. Quick one for Frank. Did you reprimand George for his blatant going behind your back? Now drink these, George.
Right. Let's put that one straight to bed. I was not on any podcast whatsoever that week. I don't know where that come from, who started that rumour, who spread it onto the podcast. And I wasn't pleased about it, Frank will tell you, because I don't know where that come from at all. There was reasons why I couldn't be on last week. I had some terrible news about a friend who'd been given a terminal diagnosis on cancer the very day the podcast was due in the afternoon. I just couldn't face up to coming on.
No.
The Thursday was a golf tournament in West Lags. So that's the facts. So whoever said that, don't know who it was, but we don't need to mention any names. It was a mistake, put it that way.
You better drink all them, George, all them Scotch.
I'll drink them, yeah, definitely, yeah. I'm going to get water in here. That's running dry. Thanks, Anfield Row, for allowing me to explain that.
No, I think that's good. Yeah, absolutely.
Frank was taking the mickey as usual.
Yeah. Well, that's what he's not coming on it again, because I said he was the found Shankly boy. Now he's back to being the lost Shankly boy.
Yeah. Never mind.
No one said anything, if you know what I mean. No one said anything. And it's just so sad that someone put up a stupid No, I don't know where. Yeah, it was on here. I don't know who said it.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? Because, it's frustrating because you don't want to be accused of disloyalty.
It could have been,
I would never go on a podcast on a Tuesday evening, ever, other than this one.
No, but it could have been a little snide, like gigging in and going, put a little spanner in the works.
Yeah.
It could have been easily that, But anyway, it's all right. And the Herbert Lom, forget these transfer rumours. Edwards and Hughes work with a cloak and dagger.
Yeah.
You're right there, they do. But I'm not saying that they are the, the Messi of people. Honest to God, their profession, and this is what they were getting called, the Messis of, these bringing in players. No, they're not. They might be good negotiations to bring in a player. That's all it is. It's like a scout going out to see a player. And like Jeff Twentyman, you remember him?
Brilliant.
And he came back and said, this player is absolutely fantastic. He'd be good for us. And we got him. And, he was great. And I'm talking about a few players that he recommended. So it's just like that. It's just like that. That's their job, to negotiate, to bring in a player for the least possible. Or any players going out, get as much money you can for them. That's their job. They don't go and look at players. They just don't.
No.
But if they're going to do it this way, they need top scouts. And they're bringing in a Bournemouth lad. As a scout, well, there you go. I'll just leave it at that. Brian George, do you have any old photos from beneath the old main stand, the likes of the snooker room, etc.? The old trophy room. I've seen the trophy room under the Kop, which was great.
No, got no photographs of it, but I remember it very well. We were in a snooker room a lot.
Well, our lovely Dorothy says, Henderson went for the money and it didn't work out too well for him, did it? No, it certainly didn't. And seriously, the wages of today's players are just phenomenal. Like George said, they never need to work another day.
Look how much money Thiago got. Thiago, how much did we spend on him? He never played a game for a year. 200 grand a week or whatever, I don't know.
He's just on over, wasn't it? 200 grand a week. I think it was 220 or something like that.
Crazy.
And never played a game. Never.
JK wanted to keep him.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he was fit, but he's never fit. He was never fit, was he? Never.
He's laughing now.
No.
So the TW says, how does the tax system work with pro footballers? Bet they don't pay what they should, just like the big businesses. It's shocking what goes on cost.
Well, they have big accountants working for them, tax evasive accountants.
And Daz says, what happened to Alan Hansen, chat, or Frank? We don't know. This is what we're, we've been talking about it before, Daz. We just haven't a clue what's happened to her. Nobody, and as TW answers them anyway, nobody knows, Daz. And it's shocking. Even George was up yesterday at the ground and no one knew anything. Nobody knew anything. And yeah. Does anyone see the video of Shanks with a young Bobby Graham offering to sign him and asking, are you proud to play for Liverpool? Turns out well for Bobby, didn't it? Isn't that nice?
Dorothy, I've seen that video, Dorothy. It wasn't Bobby. I'm sorry to disappoint you. It wasn't Bobby. But I've seen the actual video. It was a fantastic video, the way Shanks spoke to that lad. I know he looked a bit like Bobby, but it wasn't Bobby. It was after Bobby's time. That was in the 70s that was filmed.
Do you know what, though? I think Klopp said, he must have said around the same thing to players. That's why he was compared to Shanks. What did he say to you, George? Do you mind me asking, and telling the people? What did he say to you when he
Well, I went into his office after a 3-game trial, Gordon Wallace had signed the day before because we were in the same week, playing the same games, and he offered me £7.50 a week as an apprentice to sign. And I told him I couldn't really sign because I was only 15. My mum and my stepfather and my granny and granddad didn't want me to come all the way to Liverpool from Aberdeen. It was too far and I'd be homesick and everything. And I said to him, my granny doesn't even know where Liverpool is, Mr. Shankly. And he ranted at me, we're in the second division at the moment, son. And we'll be in the first division next year. You tell your granny that. Soon everybody will know where Liverpool is. And that his words hit me like a bullet in the heart. And from that moment, I was going nowhere but Liverpool. I had to persuade my parents back in Aberdeen to allow me to come down. And eventually I did. And that's what he said to me, yeah. He wasn't interested about geographically where Liverpool was. He just wanted to tell her where they were on the table, where they were going.
Isn't that beautiful? That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm a historian, and I picked up a book once, and it was that thick. And I was looking, and it was about the May Blitz. And I gave a speech down at Church Street to like sportsmen. I was in the middle of bloody Church Street on a podium, the ads was all quartered off, all the shoppers. And I was on a bloody Saturday. And there was loads looking shoppers, and there was sportsmen, there was all veterans, there was people from the entertainment business as well. And I'm talking about the 70th anniversary of the May Blitz. Now, Liverpool was the most bombed city outside London, the most bombed city. So I was looking through this book, that thick, May Blitz, all pictures, and I got to Liverpool, looked at the index, big page, whatever it was, put it over, and there was 4 pictures of Liverpool, the May Blitz, 4.
Jeez.
I couldn't believe it. But that's the way Liverpool was. I'll give you another example. In 1644, during the English Revolution, Civil War, not revolution, Civil War, the troops, that was Prince Rupert's troops, the royalists, they destroyed more or less, the population of Liverpool. And they had to go back to Marston Moor. They made the way to Marston Moor in York. That's where the next big battle was taking place. And they lost 2,000 men, 1,800 men they lost, the royalists. And they were all bloodied and everything else. So they knew that they were in a battle with the people of Liverpool. And anyway, they went up to Marston Moor. And it was there at Marston Moor, it gave the parliamentarians a big lift, because when they seen Rupert with his men, bloodied, bedraggled, tired, out of gunpowder, by the way, because he used up all his gunpowder, trying to take the castle for 18 days. So by the time he gets up there, it gave the parliamentarians a lift. We're never mentioned. That's where Charles I took off and surrendered himself to the Scots. He was heavily defeated, and Liverpool doesn't get a bloody mention. That was the premise of his big heavy defeat, and that was it.
Yeah,
we never get mentioned, and that's
we still get discriminated against to this day, don't we? We still get discriminated.
Of course we do.
Always. Football, watching it, BBC commentary, Sky commentary, even in the football.
Everything we get discriminated.
Why it's sweeter when we win.
And Norman says, who is this Taylor Swift we've signed? What position does he play? DM? He sounds very quick. The Red Bird, Alan Hansen, we're praying for you and your family.
Yeah.
That's lovely, though.
Absolutely.
Brian says, good shout that, Frank, for Pope. I think he's good. The Redbird says, Frank wants Pope in goal. I don't think the Vatican will allow it.
I knew that was coming.
I don't know. He might be good at crosses, you know. See, Daryl's, you know, he's a bundle of fun there, isn't he? You know, Daryl.
Like Uncle Fester.
Went right over his head and hit that picture on the wall there. He's good at crosses. Like Dracula, good at crosses. No good at crosses, rather. Dracula. Just look at us now, lads. From Enzo lived in the first league in 30 years. We should have hoovered up more and still be favourites. Now it's back to those days. Can't believe FSG didn't spend whilst on top. We've spoken about it.
And that's the very reason why a lot of fans, like not all the fans, are behind the owners, because while we were on top, they did nothing about it. I remember George saying before, like when in the old days, even if Liverpool won the league title, they'll get 2 more guys in. Standard. It was just standard. They'll get 2 more guys in. And we don't even do that. We got Adrian and Sap van der Berg in and Thiago. And but it wasn't that we went in and thought, you know what? A world-class DMs. And for years, since the Fabinho was sort of petering off, bang, we should have got a top DM in. We didn't do it. And we had Endo last season. Fair play to the lad, he did okay. But I think a DM missing at the times when Endo was missing, it was the reason why we didn't win the Premier League. And they've never spent big. They spent big when they sold Coutinho, you know? Why? Because then when he was there from the Coutinho sale. So we've never spent big, you know? And it's a bit, sometimes you got to, just to keep up, you got to spend a little bit extra, you know, that little cherry on top of the cake. And that's what they do. They'll give you the cake and everything, but they won't put that cherry on top of it.
Yeah.
Well, I've always said that, you know that, boys. If we would have invested more, we would have won more. It's a simple fact. It's a simple fact. If you get a brilliant squad, look, I as I said before, I was watching the Real Madrid Liverpool game at Anfield 4-0. We beat them 1-0 at the Bernabeu. Remember?
Yeah.
And one of the subs who actually came on was Jay Spearing.
Yes.
And that's what we've had. That's what we've had. We've had Jay Spearings, you know, as a backup, and it just hasn't worked. No. I remember the Barca game, I was watching that as well. And, you know, at the end, not at the end, but it was when Origi scored the 4th, and everyone ran over to him, and he was Brewster.
That's Brewster. Right. Yes, you know.
And I knew then that those lads, because I was always watching the under 18s, under 21s, and I said they're not going to make Liverpool. They're not at the level. They're not at the level. Yet we had them.
Yeah.
And instead of buying, proper top quality players, and we didn't. And that's the crying shame. That's why we could have won more.
I just think they're banking on that. I just think they're banking on Stefan Bajcetic, Frank. That's all they're going to be doing. I just think they're banking on him. They can't bank on a player who ain't played all season. It's just crazy. And
don't forget, I've got nothing against Bajcetic, and I might get crucified here. But when you look at him, he came into a side that was awful. We was going through awful periods. And he just looked young and fresh. He did. He looked young, and he looked great. But would he get into the team? Would he have got into the team that won the Champions League? Would he have got into the team that won the Premiership? The answer is simple: no, he wouldn't. Do you see what I mean? And we're relying on, we've got some. I love that kid, Bradley. I love
Yes,
Jarrell Close. They're brilliant, those kids.
they've got it. They've got it. Yeah.
And, they're going to make it. I know they are.
Yeah.
And, we had this young Doak lad. And we were talking about him, George. The panel was talking about young Doak. And, Jimmy Johnson, this kid's got, where did he go?
Injured. You see, this is it, injured.
And once he got injured, he kept getting injured. And this is what we want: bloody mature players, great players, quality players. That's why we need a DM. And if we don't get a DM, that's why we were going through.
To be honest with you, Frank, I honestly think we need a left back as well, because I personally think Robbo's starting to decline. He's starting to get a lot of injuries.
Yeah, but I thought he was playing well towards the end of the season when he came back.
Yeah, but he's starting to get.
No, he did. I don't know what happened to him actually, because it seemed that someone had wound him up. Like a little clockwork tape.
Yeah, again. Yeah.
Because he was, he was just ordinary.
I think a big difference next season. It's so frustrating what happened towards the end of this season. Nunes, I mean, I'm not going to go at Nunes because I love him.
No.
The number of times he was caught offside, the number of chances he missed, good chances that a striker should put away. He's not been doing what he's paid for, sticking it in the net. Had he done that, we'd have won the league, in my view. There were so many occasions, the Man United game, the Crystal Palace game, big games when he was right through, goal on one-on-one, or hit the crossbar, hit the post. I mean, that lad could have been our man that could have won the Premier League for us. I mean, not just that, but it was a big factor, I think, the chances we missed. Playing too many passes at the edge of the box and not finishing off. So we did have the chances, but, and we lost, as you said, because of the fact we didn't have a DM. There was too many gaps, especially the right back position when Trent moved out of that position. Left us open. We should have won that league last year because we hammered City. We hammered them at Anfield. No team's ever given them a roasting like that second half. They were panicking. De Bruyne was arguing with the manager. They were all over the place.
Yeah,
and they escaped because of a VAR tragedy. A bottle job by VAR at the last minute. It should never have happened. It was a penalty. And that cost us.
A penalty.
Yeah.
You can imagine what lift that would have given us.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there was lots of decisions like that last season.
Yeah, but there was at least 3 or 4 major decisions against our biggest opponents, Spurs, Arsenal and City.
Yeah.
3 of them games that cost us 6 points.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you see, and then when we were going after the quadruple or whatever it was this season, the back end of it coming in, then all of a sudden we had Jürgen leaving.
Yeah, it's JK said, long time.
You're getting, people saying, oh, this is great, look at this, and whatever. He should have gone 2 years ago. These are on different pods. I couldn't believe what I was listening to. Should have gone 2 years ago. This is Klopp. Should have gone. And yet we were there still fighting for the league. And I thought, do these people know anything about football? Do they know anything about Liverpool Football Club? He should have gone 2 years ago. I couldn't believe it. But I think that was the disintegration of us then. And, you're getting the likes of, I know he's the coach now, coming out and saying, I want to be Liverpool's manager. You don't do things like that. I've never seen, I've been following football for years, from Shankly days. That's years. And I've never, ever seen anything. A manager saying he wants to manage another club in a season, halfway through a season. I've never heard.
No.
Never seen it. Any club, any manager, I've never heard them say until this year.
Yeah,
And I see, I want to be Liverpool.
He was given the green light to do it.
Oh,
I believe, given
yeah.
the green light. If he had any brains for himself, he would say, you know what, I don't want to do that. I want to wait until the season's over. I would have respected him more. Him just doing that is sort of annoyed me, and it's not a good start in my eyes as a Liverpool manager, where Klopp still was sort of in the title race. He's still got 3 or 4 more games left, and he's coming out with them sort of comments. Come on. This ain't Comedy Channel. This is like Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
Really annoyed me the way he did that. And the thing is, fans are still sort of not really looking into that. Like, for me, he shouldn't have done that. Why? It makes us look unprofessional. Everyone's against us anyway. So why are we actually letting news like that leak so easy? Now, when I was just going to just say that, Frank. Like, now, when you look at it, was it the right decision for Klopp to say he was going to leave when he said it? It wasn't the right decision, was it? Really, should have waited until the season was over and did it. All this Arne Slot, Alonso, all these sort of things wouldn't have come out if Jurgen didn't say then he's going to leave. If he said it at the end of the season, yeah, carry on. Season's over. It don't really matter no more. So timing wise, whoever said it was the right time to do it, Edwards and all that crew, they got that wrong.
Yeah, it's funny with the press, isn't it? The press have been bumming up Arsenal. Arsenal's going to win the league next year. Arsenal's the next great thing. They didn't win a trophy this year.
No.
We did.
We're the only channel, that's what I was going to say to you. We're the only channel who brings that up, or who brought it up at the time. This is the wrong time to do anything like any promotion like that. I want to be the Liverpool next manager. I thought it was mad, insane, stupid, because I knew that it would upset the players, and they never come out and went like that or said anything. But you could say it's upset Klopp. It must have upset Klopp. He must have gone, who's this fella? Who's this fella? He must have done. Anyway, let's get back to what the people are saying.
By the way, Klopp's coming back to Anfield. He's coming to the Taylor Swift concert. They told me today. Stephen Dunn said, he's coming back. He's got in touch and said he's booked a seat for the concert.
Is he really?
Yes, he's coming back. He'll be there. He'll be there on Thursday, I think. You'll probably see it in the paper, in the stand.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a daughter or a granddaughter, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because kids love this girl, don't they?
Yeah.
I love her.
Oh, you would, wouldn't you?
Can you name any of the songs, Darryl?
No, I just like her.
You like the way she looks.
Like the way she dances and that, yeah. Anyway, Mary Stan says she's talking to Ian Mack. I agree the squad is a very young average age and is very good standard. Just a couple of top players could put us clear and go again. But I don't like the big changes in the coaching staff.
Yeah.
That's what, and she carries on by saying, good evening, Frank and George and Co. I was reading Shank's bio today. He was one of the first to check out opponents before games.
Yeah.
You've spoken about that, George, haven't you?
Yeah.
What did he say to Keegan? About Bobby Moore and, the rest of them.
Yeah, I told them that, he said, you're playing against a cripple. He's got a bad leg. Play on his left hand. He's got a weak left leg. And then, of course, Keegan went and scored 2 goals. And he came in and sat down and he went over and said, you've just ran the back off the finest swing half in England.
But he said, didn't he? He said, I got told they were in the club last night. Look at them drinking till the early hours of the morning. So go out there and show them what you can do, Kevin. Kevin believed. Kevin Keegan believed.
He used to say Keegan was first into training, first in the sprints, first over the hurdles, first to everything. He said he could be Prime Minister if he wanted to be.
Is that what he says? Yeah, like
He could do anything he wanted. He could be Prime Minister. I mean, a better job than the one we got now, that's for sure.
Is that, like first day and training and that? I knew that he was dedicated. Kevin.
Oh yeah, he was 100%. He was on a thing called Superstars in the 70s when they did all sorts of bike,
Oh yeah, he was.
He won it. He was like the Salah. He was like the most Salah of the 70s. He was fantastically fit. Really was.
Yeah.
Dedicated. Yeah, dedicated.
It's great when you're there. It's great. It's great that. And when you were talking about your mate, sending prayers for your friend George, says the Redbird.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, it's very sad. They can't do no more for her.
I hate things like that, I hate it. Mary Stan says, Frank, probably a bit biased about Stefan Batatic. Don't expect him to be first choice DM, but if he gets chances, he won't let the team down like Jarrell and Connor. But coach, not put pressure on him. Yeah. No, we can't afford to put pressure on him. Batatic.
No,
I'm really not having a go. I'm not having a go at the lad. I'm really not. But he came into a side that was playing bloody awful. I think if I was a player, I think oh, look at this fella, he looks all right. And he did. Then he got injured. Then he never plays all season. Like Thiago. And to me, he's very slight as young Stefan Batatic. He's very slight. And a good hard, hit against him, could be like Thiago. Thiago, he came into the Prem. This is what I mean about Arne Slot. He thinks that he's just going to come in and take over. He's got a hell of a lot of opponents to get through. I'm talking about managers of great clubs.
It's a massive job.
Very hard. Who's used to the Premiership? He isn't, and that's the problem. That's the only worry I've got. I really am.
Be very interesting in just his press conference. Be interested to see what he says.
Yeah. But it like as she says there, like Jarrell and Connor Bradley. Yes, they're great players. We mentioned them. They are. I'm made up with Bradley. I'm made up with Quanta, and they're only going to get better. They're great now, but they're only going to get better because they're young, they're determined, they're full of energy, and they know how to play football.
Yeah, they're the future. They're the future of the club.
Oh, they're the future, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I think young Dan's as well. I like him. I like young 16. And I think he's brilliant himself. I really do. Like as the Redbird says, Arsenal collect bottles instead of trophies. Collect bottles instead of trophies.
Yeah. We've had a better season than them. We won a trophy. They didn't. Yeah.
Well, that's it. If you think about it, we won something.
Yeah, we won one of the 3 trophies. There's only 3 trophies.
Yeah.
FA Cup, League Championship, and Caribou.
Exactly.
In the UK.
And finished 3rd.
Yeah.
We're a team, and we went through injuries, by the way.
We had change of manager coming up, injuries, VAR decisions.
VAR, we had to play against them. We had to play against some terrible refereeing, some terrible VAR incidents, That penalty, as you mentioned before, against City.
Worst I've ever seen.
Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Arsenal, the handball.
Yeah.
Ah, shocking. That.
Bouncing it in the box.
Isn't it just funny though? The two of the worst VAR decisions this year go against our two title rivals.
Go against us.
I said before, Darryl. Yeah, absolutely. And Spurs. And
Yeah,
Spurs.
yeah. We would have won that game.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. Even then, it was a last-minute goal, wasn't it? No
Curtis
goal.
Jones shouldn't have been sent off either.
No.
No.
Cracking decision.
So that's what went against us. That's when the injury, everything, and we still finished third.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
We easily won it.
We still finished third. But it all depends now on next season. It depends on who our new coach is going to keep, because he has to assess them. He can't just say, I tell you what, get rid of him before seeing them. They're not, most of them are on Euro duty.
Yeah.
And the others have just gone on holiday.
Yeah, so he won't be doing nothing until end of July, middle of July.
He can't. So maybe that's why he hasn't shown up and give a press conference. But if it would have been me, you don't need players to go and do a press conference to say, I'm glad to be here at Liverpool, and let's hope that we can still maintain the momentum.
Yes.
Yeah.
This club. That's all he had to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Introduce himself to the supporters.
It didn't stop him. It didn't stop him about 2 months ago to do it. You know what I mean? He couldn't wait to say it. So what's stopping him now to do it officially? That's what I was saying. Behind the scenes, wrong decisions being made. At the same time, they're sort of embarrassed Klopp with it. So all in all, big letdown by the owners and whoever was given the right to make those decisions.
Next season is going to be one of the biggest seasons in our history.
Yep.
Do you think it's going to be a make or break for somebody? A make or break season?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to have to go one way or the other. We're going to have to at least reproduce what we've done this year as a minimum.
Yeah.
That means we're going to finish in third place minimum, absolute minimum, and win a trophy.
I think it's a lot. It's a make or break for quite a lot of players as well in our squad. Curtis Jones is number one as well.
Yeah.
He's make or break season for him. Darwin, last chance saloon.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think
keep clear of injuries. Try and keep less injuries.
I think you're spot on there, Darryl, and you, George, about injuries. And it is a make or break for some players, really. I don't care. I like Darwin. I really do. And if he can only keep on side, that's all. Because he has the speed to go past anybody.
Yeah.
Standing position. Anyone. And if he can just keep us cool in front of goal, as you said, George, before, he could have won the glorious chances he missed. Could have won us the league. And that's all he's got to do. But I still think that he's on borrowed time. That's why I said make a break. I think Curtis Jones too. Because I hope Slots doesn't come in and say, I'm going to get rid of him, going to get rid of him. But there are a couple of players who, I wouldn't care to go. And dare I say, like that Gravenberch, if you want to get rid of him, fine by me.
Yeah, he's got a really big opportunity now, Ryan Gravenberch, because Cooper Miners and Frankie de Jong are out for the Dutch, so he's got a real time to shine and show Liverpool at the foot of what he can do now.
Yeah, exactly, Darryl.
Okay, let's talk. Let's go and discuss these. Dorothy Langman. Some of the VAR decisions were diabolical, unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And
Norman says we have a tour of America pre-season. I'm sure we will play a home friendly also. We always play a home friendly.
Yeah.
And Mary Stan says Henry said he would sue the league about the Spurs game, but in the last 3 games of bad VAR decisions in big games cost us not only points, but the momentum.
Of course it did.
Good point. That's a
Exactly.
very good point. And Herbert Lom's brother, they changed the rules as well after the VAR decisions against them. Said they couldn't stop play. Then a couple of games later, stop play gave a pen against us.
Yeah. Palace. Crystal Palace.
You can't make these things up, can you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mary says, Darwin before the injury that cost us several key players was doing great. I am not sure about Ryan. That's
Darwin's got one job: score goals.
Yeah. And
That's what he gets paid for: score goals.
That's his job. And what a shame was as well, and we all agreed on it at the time this lad was injured, was Jota. Because Jota is a natural finisher.
Yes, that cost us big.
I don't know who it was. Could have been me, could have been you, George, could have been you, Darryl, could have been JK. And when we said, when one of us said, if Jota had those chances, most probably 2/3 of them would have gone in.
I think so, yeah. Because he's more measured.
Think about that. Just think about that. And that's the crying shame about. That's the crying shame about Darwin. But I think that Darwin, I think he will succeed, you know. I really think he will.
Really hope so.
I agree with you, Frank. I think if he gets 10 plus more goals this year, that's success. 10 more goals, that's it.
Yeah. What about you, JK?
Yeah, I liked his enthusiasm. His enthusiasm needs to be directed proper, you know. I remember me and Frank was talking about 6 months ago about he needs to get used to being onside. And then what happened? He switched. He was onside. He was on best form he's been in a Liverpool shirt. And then what happened? He got injured. And it all went back to pot again. And then when he came back, he was getting caught offside again.
Yes.
So for me, it's the mental thing with him. I think concentration levels need to be more sharper. With that, your game gets sharper, you know. I think he just lacks that a little bit of concentration in a game. But for me, I support him, no problem. I think he's got that energy to be big time.
I'll tell you what, Frank, I've got to get this off my chest and it's got to be said. A lot of these pods are really getting on Diaz's back, and I think they should start to get off of his back. Because we've got to support him. We've got to support him, not get on his back and say, get rid. We support Diaz. Every other pod I've seen have slagged him off.
He had 25 grand a week as well.
A great season for us. He's a trier. He's a trier.
Oh, yeah, he is. He runs himself stupid.
Energy levels, he's up there. He don't stop that guy.
Yeah. And he wants to stay at the club. Fair play to him for saying he wants to stay at the club.
Fair play to him. Fair play.
Yes, seen that.
On them wages as well. Like we was on about, he's taking about 25 grand a week home.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's like, that's, when you look at the football world, that's like bottom of the barrel. 25 grand, and he's 27 years old.
Yeah.
And when you
I never realised that. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, Gravenberch is on 140, so whoever gives these wages out weren't really looking at Diaz. They sort of ripped Diaz off there, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, when they gave him that contract, they should have said, you know what? After a certain amount of time, we'll increase it. but he don't look like that's going to happen.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean, Frank. I just don't like it when people call him a bum and call him a phony. There's no need for it. You know.
I thought it was like what George said before when certain players came great, like Robertson, for example. He started to come into his form.
Yeah.
The latter part of the season.
So did Diaz,
and Diaz. Now, that's what I mean about some. I'm not being funny against their supporters. I don't like criticising supporters because they support our club.
Yeah.
And I love all our supporters. I really do. You might think I won't get out of it, but I do. Point is, some of them come out with some crap. It's like, do they know football? Because and I keep saying this, when our defence was under pressure and when we got the ball, it was always lofted out to Diaz. It was always lofted out to the left.
Takes the pressure off, yeah.
And he took and he ran towards their box. And he used to beat players, by the way. He used to beat players. He's a good dribbler.
Yeah.
And, so our defence then was, steadying themselves and sorting themselves out because the pressure was off them. And this is what they don't see with Diaz.
He's a bit like Nunez, isn't he? He runs and runs and runs and he beats players and then final chance, he doesn't quite stick it away. And you could see more goals, Diaz. That's them two players, Diaz and Nunez. If they'd finished off the moves like they start them, it would be brilliant next year.
Yeah.
And I hope we do keep him. I really do.
Don't lose anybody, to be honest.
I don't want to lose anybody, but unfortunately, we'll have to if we're going to bring anybody in.
Yeah, it's a dodgy situation, isn't it?
We don't need a forward.
You'd have to lose big players, wouldn't you, to get the money? You'd have to lose players that generate big transfer fees.
Big money. And, when you look at the forward line, I'd love Jota to stay injury free. I'd like Nunez, to be a little bit more calmer, but still maintain his mentality of going forward, of causing chaos. Don't forget, we got loads of assists. I think he was second in assists.
Yeah.
And this is what people are forgetting, and people are saying get rid of him as well. And where did he come from on that? I can't understand it. But we've got to really, get a grip and bring in a DM, if anything. We don't need another forward because people are saying, do you think we'll bring in another winger? What for? Why another winger? Another forward, centre forward. What for? We've got them.
Got them there, yeah.
That's all we need in midfield is a top quality, I'd say world class midfield DM.
It makes you wonder if Trent does well for England in midfield, that's a good Euros. You wonder when he comes back to Anfield whether you put him into midfield to start with and put Bradley right back.
Yeah. And Murray says Darwin coming to the age when he could mature at 25 or 26. And Ian Mack, and about Luco, he's got a Liverpool heart, and he has.
100%.
He has. The Bunkers, Conor Bradley scored a brace tonight. Oh, yeah.
Good to hear.
Northern Ireland.
See, they're all watching the matches, aren't they?
Bradley scored a brace. Bloody hell.
Don't forget, he scored a few times for us, didn't
he? Yeah.
Against Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea was amazing.
A couple of assists as well.
Yeah.
He looks like he's got a good head on his shoulders, Bradley. Respectful.
I love him.
And Kwanzaa just get on with their game.
Him and Kwanzaa.
Yeah. And no one really talked about them two, like in the way they talked about Bajcetic and Doak. Them two, everyone was talking about them two. What happened to them two? Always been injured. So that's why I never really talk the youth players up, because it's a lot of sort of burden they put on their shoulders. You know, they're young lads, they're 16, 17. Trying to send these guys out that are 16, 17 to play again in the Premier League. None of us could probably do it, you know? So I just think that the youth players, I like them to come in, have a taste of how football is. And if they show like Klopp sort of use this injury hit season in a way to show the fans there's some quality in the youth system at Liverpool.
Give them a chance.
I think that, yeah. So that's a good thing that came out of the injury period time. And they actually did better than the guys who came back in, actually. You know, we were doing pretty well with them, the youth players.
Would you agree with Herbert Lum's brother? He says the problem is, this is about Diaz. The problem is he's always getting compared to Mane in that position. A very hard act to follow.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, George?
Well, they were all hard acts to follow, that three, Salah, Mane and Firmino, when they were up front. I mean, that was our greatest time in recent years. We won the league by 20 points or something. I mean, they were phenomenal as a three up front. Hard to replicate that. I mean, it's unfair to compare him against Mane. He's a different type of player.
Mm-hmm.
A Manchester City player, I forget his name. I've always been trying to think of this fella's name. And what has happened was, he's gone now from Man City. Some foreigner, you know, some South American or whatever it was. And he said, when we see, you know, those three coming at us, he said the speed of them. He said we didn't know what way to look.
Yeah.
He said we were unbelievable. With the passing, the intricacies of the
speed
passing.
Of Salah, speed of Mane, and the guile and trickery of Firmino.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Combination.
He said they were frightening. And I've always said it, they do frighten the opposition. They've always frightened them. But so does Núñez.
Yeah, he does.
Núñez frightens the opposition. Mo Salah still frightens the opposition.
Yeah.
No.
We could get him back at his best hopefully this year.
I'll tell you what, George, the goal he scored yesterday for Egypt was like Salah of old, where he cuts into the right, bang, top corner. That was the goal that he used to score. See yesterday.
Yeah, you see he's got his haircut now, you see he's got more strength.
Mm-hmm.
Has he got his Mo Salah, you mean?
He's had his haircut short.
Yeah.
It's got like me,
I thought it was you.
Yeah, it's a bit longer than yours, Daryl. And mine.
And Mary says she agrees with Daryl. I feel Darwin will do well, but the team needs to play to his strength. Early through balls for him to run onto. He don't suit slow possession football.
Yeah,
exactly what I said. I said the same, that I don't think Darwin would even do well at Man City, you know, because Darwin needs space to run into. Like the Newcastle goals showed you what Darwin's about, you know, where he has to beat the offside trap. He has to be the master of that talent right there, how to beat the offside trap, so hence he can run into space. But he don't really suit possession-based football teams, I don't believe. He needs to be running onto things, you know, hit over the top, them sort of balls. Remember that Jota assist against Brentford? Look how much space Darwin had to run into. Boom, he was gone. Chipped the goalie, go. And that's Darwin at his best right there. So, you know what makes me laugh is that you've seen glimpses of brilliance from Darwin, quality, you know. It isn't like he's never done nothing. Then you could say, yeah, get rid of him. But he showed us he can do it.
Yeah.
So it's up to him now. Yeah.
Of course. And he can do it. Yeah. There's a great player inside him. He scored a hat-trick, didn't he, last week?
And that goal he scored against Bournemouth in the League Cup, where he cut in and bent it top corner from 30 yards.
That was a cracker. Yeah.
He scored some good ones, I'm telling you.
He scored buttes. He scored buttes to Darwin. And, you know, this is it. But you're getting fans saying, get shut up and get another fella. Who?
Yeah. Because they're looking at Kane and Haaland, and they're looking at them too, like Haaland. Look at Haaland. It's true. They're strikers. They need to get goals. But I can't really see Haaland running all the way back. I've seen one game where Darwin, all he did was defend. He didn't really do no attacking in that game. I think it was Arsenal. I'm sure it was against Arsenal. He did no attacking. Why? Because the formation or the tactics were that he had to come always back on the left-hand side. And he did that. I can't really see Haaland doing that. You know, so there's different strengths to each player.
Yeah. Totally agree.
It's funny how some players are natural strikers, aren't they? If you look at that, Jamie Vardy, I know he's coming to the end of his career now, but he was a natural striker at Leicester City.
Yeah.
You know, he was good goals every time. Robbie Fowler was a natural striker. You know, there's players like that, they're always going to score goals.
Well, so is Jota.
Yes, he's a natural striker. Yeah.
I really don't know is he a striker? Is he a winger? I don't know what the bloody hell Slot is. I mean, Slot. Jota.
Definitely a goal scorer, that's for sure.
Jota the Slotter. You know, I don't know what. You can't say Jota the Sluter, can we now? I don't know what position he's best
takes his time and picks his spot.
He does.
Yeah. He's a thinker.
He scored a cracker. Was it against Chelsea or some big team anyway? And it was a belter. And he just hit it and it went right through. Get in, you know, in the Cup goal, actually. And it was a cracking goal. And that's what he's best for.
Yeah.
I just think he's a great fella. I really do.
Well, he's fit. He's fit for Portugal. He scored in the friendly the other day. So it looks like he'll be playing in the Euros.
So good news.
Yeah. Needing to be just playing now. Get fit and get ready for next season when he comes back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll come back to pre-season training quite fully fit. They won't need too much. Like in the old days, you're off all summer and you come back and you have to get fit. These guys will still be fit.
Oh, they're still fit, yeah. Do you think that they're not playing in a Copa America, are they, or anything like that? No.
Yeah, Brazil, Argentina.
Brazil,
Argentina, yeah, McAllister and Ali.
Uruguay. What about Uruguay?
Yeah, Uruguay are in it as well. Yeah.
Colombia.
Yeah. So it's like
they're all in it. Yeah.
America, everyone.
I think we'll only have Enzo fit.
He actually played for Japan and the World Cup qualifier.
Are they in the World Cup?
Yeah, World Cup qualifier, and he won that. Yeah. So
he'll be away as well. Yeah.
So they're all, you know, everyone, aren't they?
Yeah.
Every one of them. But anyway, here, Max, it's a good point that, Mary. The last few months of our football turns into a slow possession game, often going sideways or between the centre halves and midfields. We lost our intensity and attacking power. That was the time all the nonsense was coming out, wasn't it?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It affected us. It really did.
It did.
And the Redbird says, Frank, that's the first time I heard you say our Darwin, who said miracles can't come true.
Yeah, Redbird loves Darwin as well, man.
Yeah, well, come on, Redbird. I like Darwin.
Yeah, so do I.
He won't be saying now John Henry.
Exactly. Do you know what, though? That's the star comment tonight, that, George, what you just said. The point is, we on this pod, we've never criticised players. We've said about, you know, Darwin missing chance. Oh, I should have scored that. But that's not criticism. That's constructive criticism, really. And, you know, when we've said, but he's there, you know, we were just glad that he's going to play because we know that it's in him to do it. And as I said, he's got loads of assists last season. And he scored some great goals.
12 goals, didn't he?
Scored great goals. You know, so he's there. And I want him to be next season playing for LFC. I just want him there. I just want our forwards to be injury free. I want VAR to be more, I was going to say consistent, but the way they were consistent with us last season, Jesus.
No, I don't want VAR. Yeah, and they voted on it
Stuck
the
with
other
it,
day.
JK. We're stuck with it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the other day, only Wolverhampton Wanderers were the only club in the Premier League who voted against it.
Yeah.
And where were Liverpool's vote? Where was Liverpool's vote? It's
They
like, come
voted
on,
for it.
man.
They voted for it. They voted to keep it.
Yeah, they voted to keep it. And I'm thinking, do they watch football? The owners or Edwards, whoever said, yeah, we're for VAR. You know, like they should be the number one club fighting against VAR. Look what is taken away from football. The first 3 seconds when the ball goes over the line. That's
Well-
what you go to the football matches for, you know. Normally you can just look at the linesman. If he hasn't got his flag up, that's a goal. You know. So they've taken the most important thing out of football because of VAR.
Yeah.
And they voted for it. So the fans should have had a say in that. It's amazing to me. They gave the clubs the choice to vote for it, not
even
ask the
Notts
fans.
Forest, even Notts Forest voted for it.
Yeah, yeah. Every club by Wolverhampton Wanderers. But the fans weren't asked, you know. A lot of fans I've met and talked to, none of them want VAR.
Yeah,
Like
60%
Frank,
of the fans don't want it.
No, they
I don't
won't.
want it. Daryl, Frank, George.
I don't
Well,
want that.
No,
No,
way.
Daryl don't want it. No, George. See, there's
No,
all
I
of us.
don't
All of us
know.
don't want it.
no, I agree with you. When the linesman puts his flag up, as far as I'm concerned, it's offside. Forget it. Don't
Yeah.
argue. That's it. You're offside.
That's it.
Let the referee make the decisions. The linesman make the decisions. The only thing I'd keep it for is goal line technology.
Yep,
See,
simple.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, we're old school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And when we came home from a match, you know, even if we got beat or drew or whatever, you know, we used to write, that was offside at the
Yeah,
referee.
that's right. Part of the pleasure of being a supporter.
We argued over it.
Yeah.
And the most important thing that's gone away from the game is when we score a goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You
we
knew
know-
it was a goal. You
And
knew
we're
it was a goal.
jumping all over the place. But we,
Yeah.
we can't do that. We have to wait for VAR.
Yeah. Nobody can celebrate.
Yeah, we want to celebrate goals. Look at players like Faustino Asprilla. He used to do like 4 somersaults, and then nowadays, if he did that 4 somersaults and get told no goal.
Yeah, well, look at the classic. The classic was the cup final when Man United against Coventry.
Yeah.
I mean, Coventry scored a winner, which was deemed to be offside by Antonio, and somebody decided it should go to VAR. The linesman didn't flag. The ref didn't get involved. So why is VAR getting involved?
Getting
The whole
involved.
crowd in light and sky blue and up in the air. Can you imagine kids and fathers hugging greatest victory in their life, last minute of the game against United? 4 minutes, 3 minutes later, there's no goal. And then they go and lose the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's shocking. That was shocking. That
Was
it's shocking. And as you said, why VAR get involved? That's where the corruption is. That proved corruption.
There's no need to get
No, because they're there to help. They're there, you know, the referee, you know, saying, listen, can you help us that offside? Or they're there. They're not there to, you know, say, stop the game. You know, let's have a look at this. How could they see it?
too
They're
much.
there.
It's
They're
like
not
they
on the
give,
field of play.
yeah, it's like they
Even
give
the Lions well, because
George, they get told to go over to a monitor and give pathetic handball decisions that end handball, or when a player gets their hand like there from like 2 yards out, penalty. It's pathetic.
Man City, they didn't give us it. Remember when McAllister had his like chest sort of kicked in?
Yeah.
They didn't give us no penalty there. There you go. So
Well, that's what
Liverpool
we thought.
saying, yeah, they want to keep VAR, for me, ridiculous. They should have been number one club against it.
Yeah, every club.
Trouble is, the genie's out of the bottle now, and they'll never put it back.
No, it's a good analogy, and it is out, and it won't go back. And that's the thing. And this is what I'm saying about, you know, we got rid of the, like, when they all went in, well, not, you know, we went in, Real Madrid went in, Barcelona went in, a couple of others with Man City, you know, about a Super League.
Yeah.
And that will come back. And I think, I've said this for years, you know. I said, there'll be a Super League in Europe alone. That's all. And when I was saying this a friend of mine. He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "We've got the European Cup." I said, "No, it'll just be teams from here, from France, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Italy, playing in a Super League. That's what it'll be. They'll break it down. Say like, I'm sorry, Evertonians, if you're looking in, I'm sorry." And I gave this example. I said, suppose that they pick like Manchester City, Man United, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Just pick those four with another two, say like, and this is what I should say, Spurs and Everton. I said they put Spurs and Everton in a second tier and they fight for promotion, just like two leagues. That's what it'll be. But we'll be playing Barcelona and Real Madrid and, whoever, Bayern Munich. This is who we'll be playing.
If that ever happens, I hope it happens after I've gone.
Well,
I don't want to be. I don't want to see that.
No, but this is what I was saying then, and I'm going back about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm going back then. Then all of a sudden, a couple of years ago, this has started, and I think it's going to come back as well.
To me, that'll be the death of football on the altar of money and greed.
Oh well, that's what it is now, George.
That's where it's going.
Everything is based on greed. We got that smashing comment before about loyalty, but money is taking over the loyalty of playing for a club, and that's what it is.
You've got all these multi-billionaires, Ineos taking over Man United, the guy from America taking over Chelsea. You got the Saudis taking over. You got the Qataris. I mean, the whole thing's becoming an absolute hodgepodge of money-making corruption.
It's money making, and that's why we've got owners who, they're made. We're a cash cow. I don't care what anyone says. We're a cash cow for the owners, because why we're a cash cow is because they don't invest on the pitch. We have to sell to buy. We're a sell to buy club. Have you ever known that? Liverpool Football Club, a sell to buy club. That's disgusting.
But in one way, Frank, that's the case for most clubs at the moment because of this the fair play stuff. Like in Newcastle, they've got endless funds, but they can't buy players because they have to sell to buy because they've got to keep within the rules. That's why Everton got the points deduction.
I don't know what Steve mentions here. Club, the 115 being touting ESL apparently to deflect from the charges over them. Absolute liars.
Yeah, it's about suing the Premier League.
That's shocking. That is. Let's see what these lads say. Norman, I'll just go through these and we'll finish. You don't mind. VAR was meant to help refs and improve decisions. It has not. The only time a player should be offside is if his whole body is ahead of the defender. It's become a joke.
Yeah, that would solve it. That would solve
it. But the point is, I know. Do you ever remember Manny against Everton? Was it Everton? No, was it? It was Everton, wasn't it?
It was Everton, yeah.
We should have won the league then. We should have won the league.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. It was pathetic. Agree, George, agree. Only goal line check is worthy. Chris said that when he played in amateur footy, refs and linesmen was only flag offside if daylight between the last man and the attacker.
Yeah.
Benefit of the doubt. That's a cracking shout.
Yeah.
Well done, Murray. Firmino goal at Villa away was offside. To this day, I don't know where the offside was.
Yes, remember that
decision. Shocking decision. Bobby Evans. Yeah, Bobby's armpit it was. Yeah, it's just
fingernails.
And Norman, you will have noticed that Man City are never on the wrong end.
That's true.
That is true as well.
It's true. I can't remember one.
And he carries on by saying John Henry once said that Liverpool FC will pay for his baseball side.
There you go.
And someone, I forget who it was, and it wasn't on this pod or anything. It wasn't on a pod. I forget what it was. And it said about how America uses, different like countries and whatever, and different football clubs or whatever to pay for them. If they're running like an NFL side or an ice hockey side or a baseball side, they finance them, the club that makes money. That's why they only go after the big clubs, because they make money. That's why they see the fan base. They make money, and it helps to finance their clubs back in America. And I'm going to end on this, boys. Maristan, Frank, yes, that's the way it's going. They are edging towards an expanded Champions League. They will probably be cunning until it's done by increasing teams from each European league. That's what she says, and she's good. Boys,
that's what I mean about football, Frank. Like that there, the offside rule. What are these people doing to football? The new Champions League format, what are they doing? It's like you can't really explain it to anyone what they're trying to do with it. Like this one,
games.
Is ridiculous. They should just get the group format and did it how they did it. It worked. What's wrong with that? Fans haven't moaned about it. They never asked the fans what do they think, But the offside rule, your whole body's got to be out offside. That's going to give the attackers, that's going to give defenders nightmares. That is. So it's on the attacker side.
I seen a bloke on YouTube, says Norman, from America, talking about how all American sports teams want to be like Liverpool.
There you go.
As successful as Liverpool.
Yeah, but they're making money. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. They're making money. You've got a stupid big picture of LeBron James in a baseball T-shirt where you never walk alone with a big, basketball.
Big chick.
Yeah.
And you're standing there and you go, what the f***'s that doing there?
Yeah.
And that's what I think the American sports teams want. I
think the next 2 weeks is really important, because if Man City win this case against the Premier League, that's going to cause ructions. And I'll tell you what.
You stole me thunder. That was my last question. And I'll finish with you and the lads. If this doesn't go, if Manchester City get away with this 115 charges against them, I'm going to say this first, and then you, George, Darryl, and JK. I think football is finished.
Yeah.
George.
I agree with you. I think it's the worst thing that could possibly happen in the British game, the world game even, because you got a club there that's funded by a nation state. The British government probably don't want to upset them for whatever reason. You've got the 115 charges of using sponsorship money from the country and making out that it's from a company, but it's not. It's from their own people. They're in a stadium that they got for nothing because it was the Commonwealth Games Stadium in Manchester. They've got unlimited amounts of money. They've got unlimited lawyers, big lawyers coming in, and they're suing the people. And also, they agreed to all these terms. They agreed to, and now they're reneging out on it, and they want to sue the Premier League for discrimination against them. Discrimination against them. When Everton's been docked 8 points, Forest's been docked, Leicester's been docked for quite minimal, one thing. These have had these charges hanging over them for 115 charges for about 5 years, whatever. I don't know how long it's been, and nothing's being done. It's coming to a head now, though. This next 2 weeks, we'll see what happens then. And then I think the trial is in later in the year, isn't it? August or September. And there'll have to be a decision on what the sanctions are. Because I agree with you. If they get away with it, you may as well pack up.
Thank you. What about you, Darryl?
As I've said to you on the phone a number of times, Frank, I'd said if they get away with this, I'm done with football altogether. I'm finished. I'm not even going to pay no attention to football. I'll be done. I'll be it. Because it's not like it's a couple of charges. It's 115 charges. They've cheated their way to titles. They've cheated their way to European Cups. As I said before, if they get away with it, I'm done with football.
Okay, JK.
It's like a soap opera. Been going on for years. Nothing. You know what amazed me was that Everton and Forest got deducted points. You know, imagine City got deducted like 15 points just for a little first fine. You know, would deduct 15 points off them in January. The title race would have been us against Arsenal. Would have been easier, you know. So that's that. But for me, I can't really go into. I don't really know the details about the whole big case of it all and that. But it's a bit ridiculous the way it's just carrying on. And also, they're too valuable for the Premier League. Man City, they're a big name, you know. Pep Guardiola's there, Haaland's there, and Man City tops are getting worn all around the world. So they're a big club now, Man City, slowly but surely, you know.
I think he will be leaving at the end of next season. I think he'll stay one more season. That'll be him. You go.
Yeah, that's what I think.
This is why I find it weird. Why is Pep said he's leaving next year? Why does Edison want out? Why does Bernardo Silva want out? Why does Kevin De Bruyne want out?
Yeah, I think the star will begin to fade. The star will begin to fade. Like you said, Darryl, people will lose interest. People will think, no, this is not right. This is not for me. It's not a fair playing field. You can't compare Man City with Bournemouth, for example. You know, so they're in the same league, but they're not in the same league.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like, good show tonight, guys. Thanks, Frank, Darryl, George, and JK. Up the Reds.
Ian.
David Lums, Michael Oliver getting backhanders by City owns flying to Dubai, just like the rep in 65. And that's
you remember that, Frank?
And I remember it as well. I was on with Ian Kelly. No, was it Ian Kelly or Tommy Smith? No, Tommy Smith it was. And John, I forget his name anyway. And it was great. It was a great documentary. It comes on now and again, I believe, on LFC TV. But anyway, if Taylor Swift or Dolly Parton want to play at Anfield, fine. But do we see that reinvested in the transfer kitty? No.
Yeah, good point, that, because that's generating millions.
It's generating millions.
3 nights, 50,000, 60,000 every night.
Yeah, her whole tour, she's going to make about $1 billion out of it.
And they're not paying what we pay. They're paying big bucks. They're paying big bucks for that show.
Yeah.
And they're coming down. They've been in Edinburgh. And they've got 2 stages. The stage that we're built, the stage in Edinburgh is going down to Cardiff. And the stage that is being built at Anfield as we speak, when we finish the concert, it goes down to London. Have you noticed this? Edinburgh, capital of Scotland.
Yeah.
Cardiff, capital of Wales.
Yeah.
London, the capital.
Yeah.
And here, capital of music and football.
That's right. Yeah.
And our pod, capital of our pod.
Yeah. And time for my bed now.
All right. Yeah, I just want to go through these because these are early, and spot on all of you, says Norman. Mary says, good night, Frank, George, JK and Darryl and Norman chat.
Thank you.
Best wishes. You'll never walk alone with hope in our hearts. Freedom for Liverpool. The lovely Dorothy. Didn't Jürgen say, this is a cracker this, didn't Jürgen say of Manchester City get deducted points, he returned to pick up the cups? Yeah, he did. I'll lead the bus for ages.
I wouldn't have been tainted.
I wonder what would happen if that happened and he said, "Yeah, look, Liverpool, you've won the title and everything else," and Arnie Slot's our manager. I wonder if Arnie would go, "Oh, great, we've won the league and I'm only coming here."
We won 5 cups in my first season.
We give a press conference, yeah, and we've won the league. That'll be great. Oh, listen, boys, George, thank you.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Very
much.
enjoyable, Darren. Nice to see you again.
George. Nice to see you,
Take care, George.
It's nice to see you, GK. It's nice to hear you.
Nice to hear you.
Yeah, nice to hear you.
Bless up, Jake.
Thanks, Frank. I'll see you next Tuesday.
We'll see me
Take
next
care, George.
Tuesday. We'll see
Let's hope
you.
we get some good news about something going on next week.
Yeah, about Alan.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everybody. Good night, chat.
Good night, bro.
Right, thank you so much,
Right,
George.
Frank.
Thank you. And I'll see you next on Thursday, Daryl, if you're up for it. And you Tuesday.
Sound, bro.
I just want to say to the lads and girls as well that we do have a TV and film show to watch, to view, to go on Saturday mornings. So if you're up for it, just have a look in, and we do some television and film reviews.
Some football.
That's what I mean. You speak for about 5 minutes, then football comes into it. You can't blame it. But anyway,
Have to go with the flow show. Go with the flow show.
Thank you so much, boys, for coming on. It's been great tonight. And this is what the podders have to think about. We don't criticise players. We get behind the lads, no matter who they are. No matter who they are, we get behind them.
You know what, Frank? It's true, because remember the time when me and you was on about Harvey Elliott? I used to say he needs to improve his in-play crosses. Boom, he started doing it, and look at how many assists he got. Darwin needs to stop going offside. Boom, he stopped doing it. He was on top of his game. So we don't really criticise in that way. Oh, sell him tomorrow. What a lot of fans do nowadays. Oh, get rid of him and this, that, and the other. It's like, support the team. When the whistle blows, we all got to support Arnie Slot. He's the manager of Liverpool. You know what I mean? So there's no we don't like him and this. No. I just didn't like the way he came into the club and the way he sort of said, he's going to be the new manager. Didn't like it. But when that whistle blows, we've got to support the lad.
I didn't, and I thought it was wrong. I really do. I really thought that it was wrong for him to do that. He should have left it. And I'm look, I don't think that you can blame him. You've got to blame someone behind the scenes. Yeah. If you know what I mean. That's who you blame. And it wasn't Klopp or any of his backroom staff. It must have been someone else. We've got a good guess who it was, but we won't go into that now. Great show, boys. You'll never walk alone, says Tito. Youssef, Ten Hag staying if anyone cares.
Good to hear.
Says Youssef. Yeah. And he goes on, so we will see a Baldico Slot versus Ten Hag.
Nice.
Baldico. Youssef, not really. Best wishes and good night. Youssef, good night. Best wishes to you, Mary. Any news on, says Liverpool Channel Hope? Oh, hello, Liverpool Channel Hope. No, unfortunately, we've had nothing at all. We had George Scott on, he's just left, and unfortunately, he was up at the ground today, and he's heard nothing. Absolutely. And George played for Liverpool, by the way, and he's heard absolutely nothing. Dorothy Langman, interesting discussion tonight, lads. Thanks for all the debate. Love to all, and all the kisses for me. No kisses for you, okay. No kisses for George, and no kisses, certainly no kisses for you.
You, Daryl.
Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard, why?
And praying for the best centre half I've ever seen, Alan Jockey Hansen. The Anfield Road. Right, George. and the Elfield Law. Look at that. Good show tonight, boys. Cracking a game. Night, night, and all those bevies for us. Thank you.
Please, Anfield.
Finish. Cup of tea. United are staying with Ten Hag.
Top news.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Good news.
Cedric Lopez. And we haven't seen Cedric for the ages. Big up, Frank.
Top that, Cedric.
Just got home from the Hit the Light. Just got home and hit the light. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, bro. Hope you are, Cedric.
Cedric.
Isn't that lovely? And Anfield Road. Dolly Parton never liked her first stage name, Dolly Parton. She said it sounded too classy. Dolly Parton. Oh, hey, that's.
I just got it.
Just got that, yeah. And the Liverpool channel up. Tell us who you're at, channel. Saying prayers for the best centre half I've ever seen. That's
Nice. Yeah.
Isn't that great? So listen, boys, Thursday night, usual time. I think there'll only be us song, and we can have a great discussion with everybody on the thing. And don't forget, Saturday morning, JK. Saturday morning for the greatest ever film and TV review.
For 5 minutes.
I'll tell you what to watch. I'll tell you what. Did I ever tell you, JK, you can get it on Prime? You know Prime? Have you got Prime?
Yeah.
Replicas with Keanu Reeves. Watch it. Your wife will like it as well.
So
she will like it. I'm telling you now, it's good, you know. And there's a message right behind it, if you know what I mean. There's a message there. And it's only what's going on today. It really is. So if anyone's out there and they hope to, if there's anyone out there and they hope to, tune in for the film and TV review, please have a look at Replicas. Keanu Reeves. Keanu. Will you look at it, Darryl?
Yeah, I'll give it a look after this. I'll have a look.
Prime, yeah. So you've got Prime. Oh, that's brilliant. Hope to see you, Frank, sometime this year, says Mary Stan. It depends, you know. I've got to talk to you simply because I'm waiting for an operation and I don't know when it bloody well is. And I always go away in August and September-ish, early September. That's when I go away, Mary. Dolly had great assets. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, it's the 12th man. Greetings and salutations to my Reds on the panel. Frank J.K. Darryl. I dropped
12, man.
I dropped a like and will watch the show in full. I'd like you to watch that, to be honest, 12, because you got some stick, mate. Really. Everyone was talking about you. How lovely you were. And did you marry that girl? What was that girl he kept saying he's going to marry? I think she was a singer, and I really thought he was getting married to her.
Dua Lipa.
That's right. I'm getting married to her.
I just wanted to ask the chat if anyone wants to do a Euro fantasy league. I'll drop the code in the chat and you can join our league if you want. It's all for Liverpool fans.
Is it? Yeah. I can't do anything like that.
Oh, JK, can you email it me?
No, I'll put it in the chat now, bro. You can just write it down.
Hang on, I'm not on there. Oh,
yeah, I can email you it. Don't worry, bro.
Have you got my email?
Yeah.
Yeah, email it me, brother, and I'll get on it now. I'll come on.
There you go. I'll put the code in the chat anyway.
Look at that. Norman says, love seeing Darryl laugh. Brilliant. Because no one ever sees you laugh.
Nah, he just chuckle.
Even when I said that little humorous thing, it went straight over your head and you were still trying to think.
No.
Anyway, big up chat and all the Reds amongst us, says the Liverpool 12.
Bless, bro.
And Norma, are you 12? Dolly Parton. Says he, yeah. Well, much respect, Frank Carlyle. Thank you so much, 12. We've had a good discussion tonight. It's a pity you couldn't come on. And there's your Euro Fantasy League code.
Is it the Sun? Is it the Sun or something? Or
Nah, it's with the official UEFA gaming app. You know the official one?
all right, yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, just type in official UEFA gaming. UEFA gaming it's called.
Okay. Sweet.
That's a shame because Norman says I'll be working 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton. Blimey, can you got that?
Oh, no one's got it.
Dolly Parton. I'll go to bed cringing now. YouTube will take us off. Anyway, boys, thank you so much. It's been great. And I'll see you all again on Thursday.
Brilliant. Night, Frank. Night, Jake.
48 hours.
Take care, bro.
48 hours time. Okay. See you later, boys. Thank you so much. See you later, chat. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, chat.
Cheers,
I just hope that you join us on Wednesday, no, Thursday again. Thank you so much. And there we go. See you later, boys. Thank you.
Nice.
Look at that. Take care, my Reds, says the Liverpool 12. That's lovely. Thank you. And Norman, night all. God, Brian, I've got to finish now. Thank you. Thank you so much.